Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to Gamerjoob, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So in today's video, the character we'll be looking into is Nightmare DogDay. So we'll be going into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. But before we do any of that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. It also keeps you up to date with the videos that we post. Alrighty, well, let's get into the character concept of Nightmare DogDay. So Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 is finally here. We played it on the channel and got to experience all the new and creepy characters. We also got to see some older characters return as well. The sheer scope and size of this new chapter is huge. It gave us some more insight into some of the burning questions we've had throughout the series. It also managed to bring up some entirely new questions as well. But far and away the most interesting thing we've seen in this chapter is Catnap as a character. He was definitely creepy and very ominous as well. But he was most disturbing in his nightmare illusion form. In the end of the chapter, the player is exposed to the red sleeping gas. They envision Catnap as a terrible nightmare creature. His body is incredibly slender and bony, his face has two hollow staring eyes, and lastly, he's got a large elongated mouth. The design for Nightmare Catnap is truly terrifying, and Mob Entertainment has definitely outdone themselves. But there's one more question that remains. What would the other smiling critters look like to the player if they were exposed to the red gas? What nightmarish creature would the player hallucinate and see? Well, unluckily for the player, they would soon find out that answer. So the first nightmare hallucination the player sees is Huggy Wuggy. This demonic version of the cuddly blue toy crawls out of a TV screen and chases the player down. So now that we know the red gas has the power to make nightmares a reality, this adds another layer of danger for the player. So in the end of Chapter 3, Poppy shows us what happened to all of our fellow workers. During the Hour of Joy, they all perished at the hands of the evil toys. Now Poppy and the player make their way down below to confront the prototype. But at the last minute, something goes wrong. They hear a struggle above with Kissy Missy and an unknown character. Poppy and the player try to head back up, but it was too late. Suddenly, everything cuts to darkness and the chapter ends. Sadly, Poppy and the player won't find out what happened to Kissy up above. The power has gone out and the elevator lift is stuck in place. The lights finally come back on, but Poppy is nowhere to be seen. What could have happened to her? Was she snatched away by something in the darkness? Or did she abandon the player and head to the prototype herself? Regardless, there's nothing much the player can do. They need to leave this broken elevator and find a way forward. Hopefully they can meet up with Poppy further ahead. So the player locates a vent on the side of the wall and leaves the stuck elevator. Now they can crawl through these vents and hopefully exit out on another level. As they crawl through these narrow vents, the player has a terrible feeling about what's happened. Poppy went missing and who knows what's happened to Kissy. But they just need to keep moving forward and hopefully they'll be okay. Suddenly, the base of the air vent falls out from underneath the player. They crash down into a hallway filled with the red gas. Damn it, not this stuff again. They thought they cleared all the red gas out, but apparently there's more of it lurking around the factory. They haven't got their gas mask anymore, which means they'll start to see hallucinations again. But with Catnap out of the picture, it should be fine. After seeing that nightmarish version of him, anything else shouldn't be so bad. But soon they would realise that they would be terribly wrong. Out from the red smoke appeared two dark hollow eyes, and then eventually a creepy face followed. It was the nightmare version of DogDay. The player has already faced DogDay before, but now this is a terrifying hallucination that the gas is showing them. As the smoke clears, Nightmare DogDay's whole body is revealed. It was tall, very tall. His body is slender and bony, with multiple pointy ridges all over. He then suddenly charges towards the player. They need to make a run for it and try to get away from this nightmare illusion. Although it was just an illusion, what was possibly behind it would still definitely attack the player. They need to navigate through all the halls and hopefully find a way out of here. As they keep running, they locate an unlocked door. They rush through and close the door behind them. That was a close one. But with all this red gas still out there, getting out of this area isn't going to be easy. But as luck would have it, there was something inside this room that could make it possible to get out of this area. And that was a yellow grab hand. The player hasn't seen one of these hands before. And as to what it does is a total mystery. They attach it and suddenly something happens. The yellow hand morphs into some sort of vacuum filtration device. With this they can vacuum up small areas of gas and clear the way forward. so it wouldn't be enough to clear an entire room, but any stray clouds can get sucked up and filtered into fresh air. But if the tank is full, the player would have to wait until the gas is filtered, and then they can start vacuuming the gas once more. This would come in handy whenever Nightmare DogDay appears. The player can't get too close to him, but they can get close enough to vacuum the gas away and make him disappear. But this wouldn't be the final solution. The player needs to power up the air filtration system in this area. Once switched on, the red gas would be extracted through the air vents. And with no red gas, there will be no horrible illusion of Nightmare DogDay. So once the player has located the control panel for the filtration system, they need to power it. But at the other end of the hallway, Nightmare DogDay would appear. The player needs to place in a battery and wait for the air vent system to reach full power capacity. But they would need to protect the control panel from Nightmare DogDay. He'd keep sneaking up on the player and trying to take them out. But if the player is quick enough, they can turn around and vacuum up the gas around him. So after a couple of minutes of fending off Nightmare DogDay and waiting for the air vent system, it eventually caps at 75% airflow rate. This wouldn't be enough to get rid of all the gas at this time. The player would have to place the yellow vacuum hand in the porthole to add to the air suction. This would eventually help it reach 100%, but they would need to turn around and face DogDay here and there. And every time they would take the vacuum hand out of the porthole, the percentage would eventually drop back down to 75%. But once they've got it to 100%, all the gas in the area has finally been extracted. Once the gas clears, Nightmare DogDay is no more. In fact, it turns out that he was just one of those little DogDay toys all along. The toy scampers away, and the player is finally free to move forward. Hopefully they can find Poppy soon and continue their quest to take on the prototype. But something tells them what lies ahead wasn't going to be easy. And as for what challenges lay ahead for them next, we'll just have to wait and see. So I think that a creepy nightmare version of DogDay would be pretty interesting to see. Since we've seen a nightmare version of Catnap, I think a nightmare version of DogDay would be pretty cool as well. He could offer some new and intense gameplay elements, and the yellow hand could also offer some new ways to combat them. But unfortunately for the player, this nightmare has just begun. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Nightmare DogDay. And also let me know which smiling critter we should see a nightmare version of next as well. Alrighty everyone, well, until our next Poppy Playtime character concept video, I'll catch you later, bye.